Therapist perception.
Hi, welcome back to Reactivity TV. We are talking about and reacting to, giving our therapist reactions to Love is Blind season 4, predominantly the reunion that just happened, because I mean, a lot went down during this whole season, but
oof,
we got a lot of feelings about the reunion.
In a word, yikes. Like, yeah. I know. I have to say, I think this was my favorite season of Love is Blind. Like, this was the one that I felt like most invested in. I don't know if it was because of the way that they released the episodes and like they like kind of kept us waiting, or if there was something about this cast or like the storylines that I was like really into, but I was hooked.
Yeah. I mean, I was loving it. Mm-hmm. I was loving it the way I always love it. But I mean, I almost think of it in like The Bachelor, where I really love the first few episodes where it's just like, there's so many people, there's like, just like things are brewing. Mm-hmm. And so it's really exciting. And then as soon as people couple off, and then it gets really boring until the end. And I just want to skip to the I do's or I don'ts.
I know. Well, there was a point like on the altar where like I wanted to like fast forward through their vows, like just to hear the I do or I don't.
You didn't?
I felt bad.
No, I admit I did fast forward through like a lot of the lead up of like the getting ready portions. Mm-hmm. Because all of that is always like, is he going to say yes? Are you going to say yes? Like all that. And I'm like, I just want to know. We're getting to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but
I did give them the respect of the vows.
Okay. That is very nice. Very respectful. What for you was like, from a therapist perspective, like whether the most shocking or thing that took you by surprise the most about this, whether it's the season or the reunion, like what really stuck out to you?
Well, I guess I'll just say the season, because I have a lot of other things to say about the reunion that wasn't as much shocking, but very annoying. So I'll just go with shocking for the season was, and I think I don't stand alone in this, was Kwame saying yes. And I know that later we learned like, okay, that's not what we saw on these episodes was not everything. And I know that's true all the time, but it was really shocking because it did not look like he was happy with any of these sort of demands that Chelsea was having. It didn't seem like she was willing to compromise. It didn't seem like she was having a conversation with him about children, about moving, about jobs, about traveling. It really seemed like what she wanted. And it didn't seem like Kwame was getting anything. But then we later learned that that wasn't the extent of their conversation. That wasn't the extent of their relationship. So maybe it does make a lot more sense that they ended up together. But when he said yes, I was like, what?
I was shocked, like jaw open, shocked by that. Mm-hmm. Did that shock you more than Paul saying no?
I was just about to say, I was also shocked that Micah wanted to say yes. Mm-hmm. Because I was under the impression that she was much less interested in him than he was in her. Mm-hmm. And so I was surprised that she flipped that question on him. Mm-hmm. And had him answer first and wanted him to say yes so that she felt comfortable saying yes. But
right.
What did you think?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't surprised that he said no, because I didn't really get the sense that they were in love or compatible, like for marriage. Mm-hmm. I think they seemed like they maybe were good friends. But yeah, I was surprised I wasn't expecting her to be so upset. But I think it comes back to, just like you said, the kind of, I want to hear from you first. Like if you are in a relationship where you are giving all of the power, the future of your relationship to someone else, then that says a lot about your view of yourself and your view of the relationship. Like if you felt that insecure about your relationship, then why are you saying yes? Why would you have said yes? You know, we talk about this a lot, like on Bachelor in Paradise, like well, I'm in if you're in, are you in? That kind of thing. It's like, so not a healthy way to date or to get married. So,
right. Basing your decision off of somebody else's decision. Not great.
Yeah.
Also, you'd think that they would have conversations beforehand of like, what are we saying tomorrow?
Yes.
What are you saying tomorrow? I'm going to tell you what I'm saying tomorrow.
I know. You'd think.
Yeah. Because if they have to go up for the cameras to do it, then at least like, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, if you haven't had that conversation and you felt solid that you were both saying yes, then like, how can you expect anything other than a no? You know?
Of course.
So let's get into the reunion.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you start? You start with, well, what were you?
Well, what was most shocking to me about the reunion is, going off of something you said, that Kwame and Chelsea are still together.
Yeah.
Not expecting that. I was also not expecting how much I was going to like Bliss and Zach together.
I know.
They like talk about a redemption arc. I mean, Zach totally, I didn't love his performance like at the reunion, but I really liked them as a couple.
Ooh, what didn't you love about his performance? I
felt like he was like, you know, the thing I think about with Zach is like, he really does just kind of speak his mind. I can appreciate that he is like trying to be very authentic. And I don't know how much of a filter he has. I mean, he is a defense attorney. He likes litigation. So like, he knows how to get up in front of an audience and perform and all of that stuff. But I don't know, there was a part of me that was kind of like, on the one hand, you're accusing Irina to be here for fame. And in the next breath, you're telling people to go to your Instagram to check the receipts. Like, why are you plugging your Instagram if you're accusing someone else of being here for fame? So like, there was that part where I was like, I don't really know what you're trying to do here, dude. Like, yeah, I don't know.
That's a good point.
But overall, I mean, I walked away like, he was still like high on my list of cast members that I liked, but whose stock plummeted, and I know this is just not my opinion or my therapist's perspective, is Vanessa Lachey. Was that was hard to watch as a therapist. I was like, my therapist self was like, are you okay? Like, is your marriage okay? Like, that was a tough watch. I heard this was a few days ago, so who knows what's happened since then, but on change.org, the second highest petition signed across the entire website was to remove Vanessa Lachey as host. I mean,
Banana Lachey.
No, she was so inappropriate.
Absolutely inappropriate. The way that she was asking questions, I just want to start by saying that with reunions and like, yeah, I mean, with other reunion shows that you and I have seen, I mean, Bachelor, for instance, the host is asking questions that viewers want to know about, and also respecting boundaries at the same time. And Vanessa didn't do that at all. She was like a detective. She was interrogating them. She kept pressing, and she also kept apologizing for it. She was like, I'm sorry. I just need to know. I'm sorry. But she wasn't actually sorry. It was one of those things that you say because you know that this is an uncomfortable question that you actually just should not be asking.
That's none of your
baby
business.
questions, for one. Yeah.
Oh, stop. Like, why? How do we not know at this point? It's 2023 to not ask that question. Can we just stop asking people when they're having kids? Like, how? I was going to swear. That's so messed up. It's so much pressure, makes so many assumptions. You have no idea what someone's experiences are.
it's one thing to ask the question one time too. Maybe she asked it once and it was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have asked that. And it was just like a little playful ask, or like a general, oh, can't wait for the Love is Blind baby. But no, she kept going, and then had Bartise on with his baby to ask the same question that no one cares about. None of the viewers are wondering that. I didn't go on my Instagram right after I watched all the episodes to see if any of them have children yet. I went to see, are they still together? Mm-hmm. Let me see their happy little, like, finally we can reveal ourselves post. Mm-hmm. No one cared if they have kids or not, ever. Mm-hmm. No one cares if they're having kids now or they never do. Mm-hmm. So that was purely her agenda.
Well, another thing about Vanessa is she is not a therapist, right? But she is a host and she is an interviewer, and she, is in broadcasting for a living, or was. Like, she is a trained professional. And one of the things you need to be is unbiased. Vanessa's bias was so strong. It was so clear. She played favorites. It was so clear by the way that she asked or didn't ask questions. Like, where were all the questions for Jackie? Hello? And why go in on Paul? Like, so hard. And like, it was just so, again, unfair, unbalanced. And it didn't actually give the viewers what we wanted. Like, I wanted to hear from everybody, and she was just so invested, as you said, in pushing her own agenda. And that's not what we want or what we need from a host.
Right. And there was a total imbalance there. And then I get where you're asking, like, is her marriage okay? I mean, Nick Lachey may as well have not been there during this reunion. His questions were much more directed at the participants, the contestants, that they were more out of curiosity, where hers had some other underlying thing. And you're right, it was a bias that was underlying. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he barely got a question in. She was talking over him. She was loud. She had her hands out over him. Even the body language was just showing, like, this is my show. I am the host, and my husband happens to be here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was very undermining of him, undercutting of him. I feel like he would say something and she would like kind of twist it a little bit. How many times does she need to tell us marriage with Nick has been hard? Like, we're not asking, you're making it about you. Number one, this show is not about you. Again, unbiased. And the way that you are and if you want it to be about you and be about marriage, then please be a model for what a healthy marriage looks like, with balanced communication, with partnership. That was not a partnership. And that is not, again, to be a model of a marriage on a marriage and dating show. That was not it. And so that was also, like, very disappointing. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know. I wonder how much, I mean, we're not the only ones talking about our reaction to her. I mean, everyone's talking about it. I'm really interested to see what happens as a result of all of this chatter, if anything. Like, who knows if she'll be back again? I mean, they probably already filmed the next season, because they're like a year and a half. Like, this season was filmed like a year and a half ago. So they could have already filmed season 5 for all we know. So it'll be really interesting to kind of see. But I expect more from her. Again, she's a professional, and she was offensive on so many levels. So, yeah. But I did have a fun time watching. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's always nice to see where people are at. I mean, it's almost unfortunate that it's so far out from when, like, they're all so far removed from what we just saw. It's almost like when we're in session with clients and they tell us something that happened to them so long ago, and we're there with them so long ago, and it's so shocking for us to hear, but it's not new to them. And they've been living through it for so long. Right. And it was the same. And Marshall said it so well. He's like, I am past this. This was a year ago. I hope Jackie is happy, and I'm happy now. And let's move on. This is this is not the place that we want to be in.
Right.
And people are like attacking all of these different relationships for all of these different ways, but they are unfazed by it because they're, which could be a good thing that like The Bachelor kind of lacks, is that like all those relationships are so raw and fresh that they don't have their chance to develop, whereas they had their private chance to develop, and now we're getting the.
I know. I know. There's pros and cons to both sides, right? Like, because on the one hand, like people from The Bachelor, like they're fresh, it's fresh off, and they're so kind of exposed to it like right away. But these people have had like the luxury of anonymity for the last year, the space to kind of like let their relationship flourish. And then this show comes out and it unearths all of this stuff, all of these, you know, who knows like how much Chelsea knew about what Kwame was saying behind her back. And Micah just found out what Paul had said about her, about not being mother material. Like, she was fine. She was past this, and now it kind of digs it all up again. And so I guess you're going to get hit with it either way, but yeah, it's tough.
Mm-hmm. Right. And not to say that like everyone should be over it a year later, like by no means am I saying that or anything, but they've definitely had a lot more time to process things than, let's say, people coming off of The Bachelor.
Sure. Their relationships are more stable, like, and have a stronger foundation for sure to like handle any potential backlash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Love is blind, huh?
Love is.
Do you think Love is blind?
I don't.
Neither do I.
Yeah. I guess Love was like 75% blind for these people. But yeah, well, okay. So Love is Blind season 4 will be back whenever Love is Blind season 5 drops. We have The Bachelorette coming back in a few weeks and more TV Succession. So we're here, we're with you, we're watching what you're watching. Let us know what other shows you want us to react to. But we will see you next time. Bye.